eager to kickstart. So Kelvin, shall we?
Yes, let's get started. Can I have my slides screen? Yes, this is the topic that I'm going to talk about here. How to really develop something that is safe and systematic, because Eddie, I'm a very kiasi person. So I want to make sure that, right, everything that we do and everything that we share must be in a very safe manner, so that what? The consumer can actually be much more assured themselves in terms of moving forward. And of course, how do we build cash flow? Is cash flow the most important thing here? Or how do we look at capital? This is something that help you to build your net worth in terms of what? Your real estate. And today, this is something that I would like to share with you here. Like I like just on what we mentioned here, right? Our objective is what? Eventually later on, in order for all of us to learn to be more effective, right? I think the good news here is that I see all of you are actually what? All of you are actually responding to the chat, which is this what we want you to do later on, because I will ask you some question. I hope that all of you can actually answer me, and that will be very helpful so that we can all what? Learn together. All right, good. Or have everybody can see me plus see the screen, right? Good. If you can say, let's move forward. So just a disclaimer for myself. Of course, whatever we share, definitely there's certain risks here and there. Of course, at the end of the day, is for you to work on and see how you can actually minimize in terms of risk. Everything got risk one, right? But most important is to learn the right thing to do so. So of course, I really want you to do this thing for me. Really, towards the end of the session here. In fact, if you really stay throughout the session, right, we are going to give you these 10 key steps to maximize your gain and minimize your risk. What you need to do here is really something that can help you, that understand better, and this is something that you need to do in order what? For you to learn most. Of course, we have this 30 minutes Q&A coaching session later on with myself and Eddie. Two of us will be coming in to share with you in detail, or you can also ask questions. We can actually help to answer some of the questions that you put it up across to us, and we hope that we can answer to you guys here. So, this particular session, who is this actually meant for? It's people who are actually on a growth mindset. What do I mean by growth mindset? Who are always willing to learn, but I'm quite confident those people who are here definitely are in a growth mindset, because you're always ready to learn. Because at this time, at this hour, 8 o'clock, right, you still choose to stay here, means that you are very eager to learn something, because that is something that I can see from all of you here. If not, you're probably enjoying your wine, having your dinner outside and enjoying your life, but you choose to be here. Right, that shows that you are really interested to learn. And that is my commitment to all of you here tonight, is to make sure that you guys learn the most at the end of the session here. Of course, first-time buyers, upgraders, investor, this is definitely something for you to see what I can actually assist you to let you see. Because throughout my segment, I got various parts to target different group of people so that you can learn all these things I'm going to share with you here. Of course, the other group is also the busy professional. Actually, a lot of people has been working very hard. So the question here is, how can you retire in a very comfortable manner? I later on will show you some of this information that you will understand that how you can actually retire. Don't just work hard for money. You must really learn how to use your money to work hard for you. And that is something that I'm going to share with you in a short while. Of course, parents who want to have a safe and systematic strategies for more time and financial stability. What do I mean by that? Because parents today who are working so hard, especially for our kids, how can we do something? Because a lot of people think that, Kelvin, I want to upgrade my assets. I want to have a better lifestyle, but I also worried about my income. How can I do something that is systematic and safe so that my family can be taken care, even though when there's crisis, all these things can be what? Taken care of. Of course, soon to be retired, going to be retired, who wants to give a children a head start, right? How can you actually do something for them? Of course, whatever I shared with you here, all these things, right? I can only say one thing. We all know that this is the way to do so, especially when it comes to property. But the question here is that how do we know whether is it the right time? How do we determine this is the best time? And tonight we want to talk about this because everybody knows real estate is the way, most of the people, right? But the question is, how do we determine it? So if you look at all these are the reason issue. We got the Fed increasing interest rate and do not know whether are they going to reduce their interest rate, are they going to come down. Then of course the Bank of England also start to raise rate, and we also see some collapse of what? Of the banks in the United States as well. So all these things create what? Create a lot of talks. And because of all this inflation, that's why it creates a what? The stress in terms of the interest rate that is happening. As a result, a lot of people are holding back. Because why? Is it safe to do so? Because the cost of living is so high. But a lot of people don't understand how it works. Of course, if you can see from here, there's a lot of economic uncertainties, a lot of issue here and there. That's the reason why you can see that the banks in the US is actually what? Crash in a sense. So this is the reason why it happened. Of course, with all these things, plus you look at all the, we just talk about one COVID, right? It has created so many things that is happening. But all these things, can we actually predict? Are we able to know when is the crisis next? Are we able to prevent another so-called maybe major kind of crisis that's going to happen? No one can do so. But the only way that we can do so is what? Is to make sure that we have what? Sufficient. If we don't have sufficient, then we cannot. Because at the end of the day, we cannot prevent anything because you and I doesn't know what's going to happen next, right? The only thing that we can do here is to do what? Is to ensure that we have enough. Right? That is important. So that's the reason why, how can we weather through all the challenges? How can we be self-sufficient in the long run? So for me, right, I'm lucky because, the last 3 years, even though we have COVID, because of we having enough, right, we can actually sustain in terms of this. One of my friends who is in the travel business, he used to be using a pen to do all the booking of air tickets, flights, everything, for the last 10 over years. But because of this COVID, what happened? Instead of selling tickets, he has to change his job in terms of doing cleaning business. He himself has to go to the ground and do this. Is it something that we can foresee? But luckily for him, he's willing to actually do that. And I'm very proud of my friend because why? He's willing to do things differently. Can you imagine using a pen now, using something like a broom to do all these things? It's not easy. But why is it happening? Because why? If you don't have enough sufficiency to back up yourself, if things go haywire, then eventually what will happen next? You will not be self-sufficient. And that's the reason why I always educate people, right? How do you actually use real estate to build your future? Because only with this, right, you can see yourself weather through all the different storms. Whatever crisis that is coming in, you are always what? Protected. So this is something that is very crucial. That's the reason why there's 4 reasons why you must look at property. Of course, you can decide whether yes or no, but I'm going to share with you in detail. Why a lot of rich people eventually still choose to go into real estate? Why are they not going to other things, but why real estate? And that is something that you must understand. First, we talk about income growth. A lot of people say, Calvin, income growth is very slow. How can I make sure that I have enough? Let me show you further. If you look at this particular chart, right, based on last year, 2022, the average income for medium households income has increased to about $10,000, close to $10,100. But do you know, right, the last 10 years, if you really work for the last 10 years based on this income, I did an average out from 2012 all the way until today, right? I average it out, your income is about $9,000 over dollars. Do you know that if you really work hard for the last 10 years, your average income is 1.1 over million? So what does it mean? Can I ask every one of you who are listening to me now, for those who are actually earning a $9,000 or $5,000 or $8,000 or $11,000 or $12,000 or whatever income that you earn for the last 10 years, how much did you really save? Ask yourself this question, right? How you see yourself for the last 10 years? Because why? How do I derive the 1.1 over million? Because if you look at it, every month you earn $10,000. 1 year you earn $120,000. If I multiply by 10 years, it's almost 1.2 million. But a lot of people, when I ask this question, right, they say, Calvin, it seems like I every month go take my salary, the other right hand side, my money actually get out of the whole thing already. Do we really save enough? I do not know. Only you guys will actually know about this. Did you really save enough? But if you look at the price gap for the last 10 years increased from 1.33 million to a 1.87 million. Actually, if you look at it, only $500,000 in terms of profit, in terms of capital appreciation for a private condo, right? It's only $500,000 versus your income is actually 1.1 over millions. So my question to all of you here, which is a better option? Can I ask you all of you here, right? How many of you think that if you think that assets is the best way, you type 1. If you just focus on working hard, right? You think that earning income wise is good for you, you type 2. Which is a better option? Wow, 1. Right, thank you so much, PK, Hartley, Michael, for actually responding. Daniel as well, thank you so much, right? But if you look at this, why do I say so? Which is a better option? Some of you say 1. Of course, 1 plus 2 is the best lah. But a lot of time, I mean, because I also worked before, right? I also see how much I earn, how much I spend as well. So if you look at it, right, the only way to do so is actually asset. Why? Because you leverage on your income to help you to grow your money. Because this is something that you will gain after 10 years. But this is provided, all of you don't spend 1 cent, you get 1.1 million. But how can you actually don't spend money? But every time your income come in, eventually what will happen? Eventually it's all gone. So the only way to do so is what? Is to learn how to use your income to help you to build your capital. Because why? This is real money. Because when you sell the property away, you get back $500,000 after the last 10 years. But this one, you don't see the real money. Because why? You take in, you take in and you spend away. So eventually, do you see real money? You don't. And that is the scary part. And just 10 years, can you imagine just 10 years, if you don't own an asset, right? Actually, whatever you earn, actually you don't get back single cent. And that is scary. Unless you are super saver, don't spend 1 cent every time you take back $10,000, you just keep your 10,000. I don't think many of us can do that, right? So eventually, that's the reason why I say that it's so important to learn how to use your asset to build your capital using asset. That is important. How many of you agree with me that, right? The bank always make good use of our money. If you say yes, type in number 3 inside the chat group. The bank is always making use of us to make money. Yes, thank you so much, Dan, Hartley as well. Thank you so much for responding to me. Well, yes, I totally think so. Because why? They always leverage on us by paying us an interest rate. But they use our money to do what? They use our money to always make more money. You see all the recent announcements. You see how the CEO makes so much money, the bank making so much profit here and there. Why? Because they are actually using our money to make money. And that is exactly what the rich people in the real estate is also doing that. They learn how to use what? Their income. For example, let me just share with you here. Today, if you are buying this property at 1.37 million, this is your full exposure. And why is it so important to leverage on the bank? Because why? You don't need to take a full loan. You don't need to pay down the 1.3 over million. You just take a leverage. Just simple calculation. I don't need you to spend your time to do calculation, right? You need exactly 383,000 to buy this asset. But the balance amount differences over here, you borrow just $1 million from the bank. I just do simple calculation, not to confuse everybody. $1 million, you took a loan from the bank. You only need 300,000. That is why people use leveraging. Of course, must not take risks. You must do financial planning, right? That is important. But the advantage of doing this is because we leverage on the bank to help us. Just you can see. Look at this development, right? This is the one that I show you. Basically, he bought the property at 1,200 plus per square foot, close to 1,300. He sold it for 1,500 per square foot, close to 1,600. His profit margin about 300,000. This is exactly, right? Just now I said they bought the property about 1.37 million. And he managed to sell it for 1.68 million. But actually he only take a capital of $383,000 and he make a profit of how much? 300,000. So his ROI for the last 4 years is almost close to 20% per annum. Is it something good or not? But you see, if someone who has been working hard every month without putting their money into asset, what will happen next? They will just spend the money. And did the money grow for them? No. That's the reason why it's so important, right? I hope all of you here, if you have income, remember to use your income to leverage, to help you to build your asset. Because if you don't use this, right, eventually, no matter how much you work, how hard you work, eventually you will just work hard, but you don't see money. And that is scary. And age keep going upward, but you do not see yourself having enough. Is this something that is crucial for you? That's why I say it's important to learn how to leverage on the bank to help you. Don't let the bank make money from you. You must learn how to use the bank to help you to make money, right? That is something that is very crucial here. That's why you see another development, Shunfu. You see, my friend, they bought at 2018. Just only 4 years, they make 700,000. Can you imagine? I say, ask all of you here. Ask yourself the last 4 years, if you're working so hard, right? Can you easily save that 200,000? Don't talk about 700,000. Just talk about 200,000. Just like this guy here, 256,000. They bought 2018, so in July 2022. Just 4 years, $250,000. But do you save enough for $250,000? How many of you can, about those people who are inside this chat group, right? The last 4 years, how many of you really save $250,000 one? If yes, can you type in the chat group, say one. You save $250,000 in the last 4 years, right? Nobody type. Is it easy? Honest truth, is really not easy. I know it because why? Because I have been working also for others people. I know exactly, right? By working hard, it's so difficult to save money. And that is really the reason why today I'm sitting here, right? To share with you a lot more, right? Is because I truly believe that, right? The only way to do so is to help people to understand the real estate market. Or BK Tan, I don't know whether you say it's minus 250 or you plus 250. This is something I wouldn't know, but thank you so much for responding as well. But I think the most important is what? Learn how to use your income to help you to grow. That's my message to all of you here. Don't work until long hours, but eventually there's only one person that's making money, which is your boss. How can you help yourself to grow? How can you help yourself to make the profit that you want? And please do not work don't be a rat race. That's the last thing. You can be so busy, but you're not making money. That's the worst, right? And of course, we also must understand the third thing why people buy property. Because they want to hedge against what? Inflation. What do I mean by that? You see, just now we talk about inflation, right? A lot of people don't understand inflation. Inflation to me is like 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, right? We all talk about inflation is the 6%, 5%. But actually, who really understand inflation? Especially we talk about real estate. You just look at a lot of things. I recently bought a cake from Taka, used to be selling $10 because my daughter liked to eat. And recently I go there and buy, it's $13. We talk about inflation, right? It's only a percentage, right? 5%, 6%. But the cost of the cake increased by $3. It's more than the 3%. Same thing. For real estate, it's even more scary. And this is something that I want to address to all the first-timer who are first-timer here. All right? Example, this property. Last time in the year of 2018, I shared with my friend. I say, hey, you must buy this property, 800,000. He actually has the capability to come out 200,000 to buy this house. He said, Calvin, I think I better work hard a little bit more. I save a little bit more before I actually decided to buy the next property. Maybe give me another 2-3 years. So did he bought the property? He did not. What happened next? He said, Calvin, now I'm ready to buy already. I say, my friend, now to 2-bed, 1 toilet will cost you $1.3 million now. And you need $400,000 now to buy this property. So my question, I'm telling you now, right? I say, friend, now you need 400,000. Then what does my friend tells me? Calvin, I think I got to work harder now to save enough before I can actually to come up with the $400,000. So I say, then how long are you going to wait again? So can you imagine another 3-4 years, what would be the price be? It can be $1.6 million down the road already. So what am I trying to tell everybody? By working hard, is it easy to save another 200,000? is tough. But if this guy were to listen to me, my friend, he bought this property, today he easily can make another 200,000. If he add his principal, capital plus his profit, right, he will have enough 400,000 to actually down pay for this. And because of what he has down paid for this house, right, his net worth has increased to 1.3 million versus previously 800,000. But can you imagine if the person did not actually move forward? Actually, until today, he still doesn't own an asset. And that is quite scary. You see, just only 3-4 years down the road, a price of a property has grown by so much. I used to buy in 2015, 2015. I bought for my daughter a studio, 385,000. Studio, oh, you cannot imagine, I can still buy in 2015, 385,000. Today, easily $1 million. So can you imagine? If a person doesn't move forward, what will happen next? They forever were stuck in the rat race and they cannot grow. And that is something that is serious for people. And I feel that you need to really learn how to use your income, right, to help you to grow. If not, forever you'll be stuck in the rat race. And that's something not. I just show you an example. You look at it, 2001. $500,000, you can buy a 1,000 square feet. Today, for 1,000 square feet, for resale property, for resale, you need to pay 1.5 million. The moment you move forward, you can move forward. But the moment you don't move forward, the cost has been increasing. So what will happen next? Forever, this person will be out of this. If you look at the new launches, in the year of 2001, right, 600,000. Today will be 2.2 million. Can he still afford? I do not know. A lot of people will tell me, Kelvin, I'm already priced out. You know, the sad truth is not about making profit, you know. The sad truth is that I see a lot of people are out of the race. I see a lot of people, if they were to do things 3-4 years ago, they may be able to go into a private property. But a lot of people tell me, Kelvin, now I have so much concern I dare not even go in because I don't have enough. Because you see, just from 2017 until 2022, it's only how many years? 5 years. But you look at the 1.6 million to 2.2 million, the differences is how much? Is it still possible? So that is exactly what we are talking about here. All right. So the question here is that, do you have enough? That's my concern. That's why I always tell people, please do not be priced out of the market. Just like look at this High Park, 2015. A 1-bedroom will cost you 430,000. But today, plug amenities in the year of 2020, 5 years, a 1-bedroom 452 square feet will cost you 800,000. The differences is 313,000. 2023, a 1-bedroom is hitting $1 million. The differences is 207,000. Can you imagine how the price has spread out? The more, you see, the people who are actually moving forward, right, they still are in the race. But when they miss out one, they have to pay more, right? And they need to save more. That's why the biggest problem is that a lot of people always have this mindset about, oh, I need to save more before I buy. Actually, it's not about, I mean, it's important to save. But when you save, you must at least start somewhere first. Take this somewhere, start to move forward. And that is important. But if you don't start, right, forever you are stuck in the rat race. And that will be sad. And I really, really see a lot of people fall into this kind of trap, which I really do not want to see people into this. Because why? Why a lot of people are fall into this trap is because they don't understand how it works. And if you understand how it works, I can tell you, it will make a lot of difference for all of you here. That's why I say, please do not be priced out in the future due to inflation. And I really, in the business for the last 20 years, I've seen how property prices has gone up. My agent was just sharing me yesterday. He just sold a unit at Sengkang, 5-bedroom. Sengkang, 5-room flat. Make a guess how much has it been sold? A HDB flat. Make a guess, everybody. Guess how much this Sengkang 5-room has been sold? 2.4 million HDB lah, HDB flat. 1 million. 760 over 1,000. I say, my goodness, for HDB 5 room, 760,000. I mean, it's good lah, but I feel that it's a bit too pricey in my opinion. But can you imagine, right? It's quite scary in today's market, right? Even a HDB 5 room is hitting close to $1 million, even at Sengkang area. So if we don't move forward, what will happen next? And that is scary, right? That's why I always like to listen to this Robert Kiyosaki. You say, people should not focus on expenses. Focus on setting aside money to buy asset. I can tell you guys here, at the end of the day, I'm in the business for the last 20 years. I invest in properties. I don't focus on all the expenses one. If I focus on expenses, today I'll be poorer. I only look at properties, keep moving forward. How can I build my net worth higher? Because why? I always believe one thing. We must make money. Someone must make money. I cannot be, I make money, somebody don't make money. I always believe that. So even if I got to pay stamp duty, I got to pay interest, it's fair. Because why? I also make money, people must make money, right? Fair. But if I don't even step forward, right, what will happen? I don't even have one chance to make that $1. And that is scary. So that is the reason why Robert Kiyosaki says this, right? Please do not focus on expenses. Focus on setting aside money to help you to build asset. And that is truly, I believe. And that is important. Of course, the next thing is always people tell me, Kelvin, stocks is better versus property. I have no doubts about this. In fact, if you ask me, for me, I'm a 100% property person. So I only buy my own company shares. The rest of the shares, I don't want to see anything here. But I just want to say property is the best. Why? You know what is important though? Stocks is very, very difficult to say one. Why? Because stocks, I cannot have control one, you know. Because why? It depends on the CEO. If the CEO is good enough, he can make things work. But if the CEO change, I actually listened to one of my bankers. He asked me to buy a US stock. He said, this one very, very good. After that, I bought something like I cannot remember how much I paid for it. About close to $200 or what US dollars, the per stock. Then eventually the CEO changed. The stock fall into $100. So I always feel that, right? Stocks is not that it's no good. It's just that I cannot have what? Control. Type in the word. Everybody, can you type in the word, right? Control inside the chat group, please. Help me type in the word control. Why? Because property, you are the CEO. You have full control. Am I right to say that? Because you don't need to force sell your property as long as you plan for yourself. But stock is something that I cannot control the CEO. You cannot control the CEO from doing anything. If the market crash, that's it. We have no control. But property, especially in Singapore, if you have done your financially well, you have the full control because you're the CEO of the asset. You keep for long term, you can see that all the property eventually what? Has appreciated, right? You see, look at this. I saw the crypto. You see, today a lot of people are also losing money in crypto. Of course, there are people who make money, but there's also a lot of people who are losing money, and that's what I heard, right? I see people lost 2.5 million. But he made 1 million in property, but eventually all lose into crypto. Why? Because they have no control. But real estate is different. I like real estate more because why? I control. I control whether I need to sell. I don't need to force sell. I don't need to do anything. I have full control. That is the reason why I always believe. And the best thing about real estate is because I can leverage. All this investment in crypto or even in stock is no leverage. Of course, there are people who say, Kelvin, you can leverage. Yes, but you must understand leverage is take risk because you use the future money to actually buy the stock. And within a short span, you must sell. If you don't sell, you have to top up. So to me, this is speculative. I don't like. I prefer real estate. I'm not saying that wrong because I'm not familiar in the stocks market. I cannot say anything. But I only feel that one thing is property, I have full control. That's the only thing I see myself. And that's the reason why I feel it's important. That's why I see a lot of newspaper articles say that people make money here and there. Lose money in all these things, which I feel it's a bit sad because all these are hard-earned money, right? So, of course, why have I been talking about all these things? I mean, the reason why I share so much about why property is because I truly believe in what I'm doing. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because the last 20 years, I've gone through a lot. You look at this is me. I'm not so sure you recognize me or not. Now my age versus this age has a lot of different. I'm an Air Force regular in the past, before I joined the real estate. So the question is, I always believe one thing, that I feel that I can work hard, I can earn more. I don't want to be who I am in the past. But why I sign on Air Force? Because I have a back payment sum of money, right? It allows me to have a better so-called study or whatever at that point of time. But unfortunately, I'm one of them who lose all the money in the share in 1997. That is where I lost everything. And that is so sad. So after which I told myself to work hard, and I tell myself I cannot be in the force for long, because why? I know that no matter how much I work, there's a certain amount that is kept there. And that's something not what I want. And I myself also stay with my wife. This is my first HDB flat. And I bought at 210 and I sold at 220. I still lose money, $10,000. But I still move forward. And do you know that when I buy this house, do I have enough money? I don't have. I also don't have. But I even borrow from my in-law to actually buy. Everything I do, I just want to share with you, not because of why I bother to share. Because I know a lot of people start from somewhere. But because I start from this HDB, it has changed my life. Because of this HDB forced me to become a part-time telemarketer. And I earn $7 an hour because I said, Kelvin, because I told my wife, I need to pay this maintenance, pay utility. I said, wow, the cost is so high. So as a result, I become a telemarketer. But because of being a telemarketer, what happened? I learned about real estate lah. That's where I started real estate with my wife lah. That's how it works. But because in the real estate, I get to learn from all the gurus. And I started investing in 2004. I started to buy property and I started to accumulate assets. And all these assets, I still hold on to it. And before, what I do is I really buy properties and sell properties. And how I built my capital throughout all these years. Because I truly believe in assets. And I believe money can work hard. And this is my house this is my biggest investment that I've done. You see, I'm a person, is a normal guy. I don't come from a rich family. Right? I started from working hard to today what I have. But why am I sharing all this? Not because I want to boast about what I have achieved. No. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I feel that a lot of people can also do that. I come from nothing and I can achieve so much in life because I learn. I put a lot of things in my learning skill. I learn from the gurus. I see how the rich become richer. I tell myself I want to be like them. And that's the reason why today, if you ask me, do I need to sit here and talk to you guys here? Actually, I don't need to. I can go back and rest. But I choose to be here to talk to every one of you here because why? I really want you guys to see yourself to change and be better. Of course, you don't need to compare with me because I myself never believe I can own a $10 million landed house. Never. But as we move and progress, it allows me to see this. And that really forced me, right, to come into the picture to share with you here. And I really want to share with you because I want you to have a happy family because you can also do it. Because I am a normal guy. I really a normal guy, right? I share with you here. I even borrow money from my in-law to pay $5,000 cash above valuation. So I know very well that everybody can also achieve, but you need to learn how to use real estate, your income, to help you to build. And that is important, right? So of course, myself, right, who am I? I'm in the business for the last 20 years, close to running the agency now with close to 12,000 agents. Of course, I myself is an investor as well. So that's the reason why today I'm able to share more because I've gone through all these things in my life. Of course, some of you say, Kelvin, I don't even have enough to start off. Doesn't matter. I also don't have enough. That's why I started my first HDB property at 200,000, right? But of course, the down payment wise, even today, you have to start somewhere, like even a HDB. Please go and do what is needed. But at least you move forward. Just like me, I started from a HDB too, right? Can it be done? Can. And the reason why I'm doing all these seminars and doing educational talk, right, is really because of my friend. This is my friend, right? He has 5 kids and he's also being featured in the Straits Times World. He said in fact, he failed his PSLE and completed only NTC2. But today, he not only owned this landed house, he has 2 more extra properties. Why? Because he actually learned how to build his capital through assets. He has never, he works very hard, but he never think about what? He never think about how he can use his income to help him to grow. And I believe there are many people out there who has been working so hard, but eventually they are not growing. And that is something that my concern is it the right way to do so? And that's the reason why he shared with me, Kelvin, you must, right? Go out and share with people so that they can also what? Benefit. And that really prompted me to do what I'm doing today and tonight. That's why today I want to talk about 3 things. How do you know it's right timing? How do you plan financing? How do you know when it's the right strategies? And this is something that I would like you to learn. So of course the question mark is what? Right timing. How do we know whether is it the right timing? How many of you think that today is the right timing? Say yes. Those who say not the right timing, no. Those who say don't know what boot DK, right, inside the chat group. How many of you say it's a good timing? Say yes. Not a good timing? Say no. Don't know, say DK. Oh, okay. Some say yes. Thank you so much, PK. Some AQ say no. Some say DK, no. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Wow, you guys are really amazing. I'm so happy that you bother to respond to me. Sometimes I do live seminar, people also don't respond to me. But at least you guys are responding to me. That really shows that so happy tonight to really work together. There's never a right timing. Yes, exactly. There's never a right timing. But the most important is not timing. The most important is know how to determine what is called the right timing. That's important, right? How do we know it's the right timing? And that's important. If you look at all this is a chart for you to understand. You see, the reason one is really our COVID, 2020. You look at COVID, right? Only dropped -1%. Even when the COVID is considered a very big thing, right? But the drop is only 1%. A lot of people expect that the prices will drop crazily. But you look at it, those who actually bought during COVID, today they are actually exiting and making good profit. But you look at this global financial crisis. This is the one that I really I want to tell you. That time when we look at property at that point of time, a property at 2008 can drop to 1,001 per square foot. I really in 1 year dropped this kind of price. 2008 dropped to 1,001. Everybody was so shocked and scary. But why? Because at that point of time, there is no cooling measure. That time, everything is all what? Just show 200,000 to the bank, they can run you loan. But now today, with all the cooling measure in place, there is basically no more speculators in the market. Because why? You need to have your income in order to borrow this amount of money. And that's the reason why all the speculators has already been wiped off. So would there be a panic selling? No. Why? Because there's something called the TDSR, Total Debt Servicing Ratio, to determine your income that you can borrow your loan amount. So if you don't have a strong income, you cannot even borrow a loan. But last time different. You can show the bank 200,000, they can grant you $1.5 million loan. That is how it works. And that is the reason why when the market collapses, right, everybody starts throwing property, right? That's where the price collapses this way. But today, it's not. Right? Just now got one question. What if people start losing job and whether TTS also know you? Exactly. And that is the reason why later on I want to touch on this. Because a lot of people, they don't plan ahead. That's why they fall into this trap. And that is also the reason why people are so afraid to go into property. Because why? They exactly worried about what? What happened if I lose my job? Will I be able to sustain my property? And that is exactly what I'm going to share with you later on. And because of the cooling measure, interest rate, and all these things, I can tell you, if without all these things, I tell you, the Singapore property will continue to go up way. And that is more scary. But because today, with all these things in place, the prices are more stable, which means that you got a chance to what? To see things. So a lot of people today say, Kelvin, why should I buy today? Because the interest rate is so high. Exactly. I got no doubts about this, and I just want to take this opportunity, right, to share with you here. Of course, the reason why interest rate increased because of inflation. The only way to put down the inflation come down, the only way to do so is to increase the interest rate. So when they increase the interest rate is to stop people from spending money. When the people stop spending money, right, that is where the inflation will start to drop. So the only way to do so is to raise. But because of this raising interest rate, right, it creates a pressure. That's why even a bank can collapse recently in the US market because of all these things here, right? But I want to tell all of you here, eventually, interest rate must fall. Why? If you look at this, interest rate stay flat from 2008 until 2016. How long it is? But interest rate, why must come down eventually? Because why? The economic, the US Federal, they cannot increase the interest rate forever. Because the economy will go into crisis. And when people are not spending, economy, GDP will drop. And will this allow and then become unemployment rate will go up? And that's not what we want. Eventually, it cannot happen this way. So the only way to do so is what? Let the interest rate goes up. After that, when the inflation drop, interest rate will fall. Right? So this is something I want you to know this, because this is exactly related to what? The property that we are talking about. This is the property prices. This is the interest rate. At the bottom, this is the interest rate. But let me ask you a question. You see, in 2019, right, this is where the interest rate, right, was the highest. But a lot of people choose not to buy property. Because why? They say interest rate is so high, cannot be buying property. Because why? It's very scary. But you look at it, right? People who choose to buy property today, they can actually sell. Why? Because the price has appreciated. You look at here. When the interest rate was low, why everybody choose to buy property? Because they say, can we put money in the bank? It's waste of money. Because why? I want to put money in the asset to hedge against what? Inflation. And that is because when interest rate is low, everybody start to what? Buy. That is where prices go up. So why am I sharing this with you? Property price up or down is because of demand and supply. When there's supply, but there's no demand, price will fall. But because of low interest rate, right, there is a demand, that's why the price went up. But you look at here, interest rate was low, right? What will happen next? You see the price going up. So what am I trying to tell everybody? When the interest rate next year start to fall, the next thing that is happening will be property price. Why I can be confident to tell you? Because it's historical data. Because every time when the interest rate fall, the next thing that happen will be the property price. So if you are smart enough, if you really want to understand and learn more, how do you actually know when is the right time? You need to be in the game to understand this. That's why I buy property. You know, my landed property, right, I bought in 2020 during COVID. Was 11 million. Today it's worth easily 16 to 17 million, just 2 years. Why? Because I went in when people don't dare to go in. So the question here is, right, just like you see here, 2019, that was one of the highest interest rate. People don't go in. But those who went in, what happened? They make the profit. Just like here, like you look at these people, 2018, 19, they bought the property, they make 400,000 and they sold in 2022. 4 years, they make the money. 3 years, they make the money. Why? They buy when people dare not buy. That's why I'm telling you guys here, if you really follow us in this community, right, you will know exactly how to buy property at the right time. Because you know exactly how it works. If you look at this is another development in West Coast. Same thing, 2018, 2019, you look at 2022, they sold their property, do you see how much they make? 400, 500,000. As usual, I say, my friend, if you work hard, even I got to pay stamp duty, even I got to pay whatever penalty. As long as I pay, I still earn money. So what? I will pay. It's better than you don't earn 1 cent. And by working hard, can you be richer? You can't. So that's the reason why it's so important to learn how to use your asset, right, to work hard for you, how to use your income to work hard for you so that you can be better off. That's why I really hope that you can understand all these things. Now, I want to ask you another thing. This is a case study. I want to ask every one of you here, will you buy this 99 years leasehold property for $2,050 per square foot? And if you look at this property, Rivergate lah, the Pier at Robertson, Watermark or Robertson 100, all these are freehold. And they are selling at $1,700, $1,800, $2,000. But this guy, Martin Modern, is a new launch. They sold at, they bought at 2050 per square foot. How many of you will buy freehold or you buy 99? Can you type, buy which one, 99 or freehold? Freehold, right? Thank you so much, Jareen. Oh, PK, okay, freehold, right? Everyone will buy freehold. I definitely agree. Why want to pay extra money for 99 years leasehold, right? That's exactly what my friend was telling me. Kelvin, why you want to buy 99 years leasehold property in River Valley where the freehold is going at $2,000 and below? I told them there's a reason for me. Because why? Because I told them I have a reason of selecting my asset class. And if you look at today, all this property has increased, freehold has increased. But you look at these 99s, if I bought at 2050, you see today the price? 27. Why? Later I explain. How do I determine to buy this property? You know why I buy this property? This is a strategy that you must learn. Because why? This property I buy is about $2 million that time. And I know that this is a 3-room. It's $2 million. Actually, I have been looking at the property around there. The 2-room already sold at $2 million. The 2-room. The 3-room is already sold at $3 million. I know that the market 3-bedroom in the surrounding area sold for $3 million. I know the 2-bedroom sold for $2 million. If I buy something, a 3-room at $2 million, I ask myself this question. Is it easy to exit? I always want to teach people how to enter and how to exit. That is how I buy my property. In, out in this manner. I say, if I can buy $2 million, if this guy buy $3 million, how much must you sell in the future? Can you tell me how much you want to sell if you buy $3 million? Type inside the chat group for me, my friend. If you buy at $3 million, how much you want to sell in the future? 4 million. Wow, 3.5 million. Thank you. Then I say I don't need to sell 3.5 million. I sell 2.5 million. I also make $500,000, ma. The guy who buy 3 million also make $500,000, right? I say, why don't I buy something that is small? I buy a lower quantum. I use what? That's why one of my strategy is what? No, later I'll share with you here. You look at here. This Martin Modern today, 2013. This is the properties. They sold for how much? This is my stack. This is my stack. In fact, this is my 2 friends. So at 2.8 million. I easily sitting on $500,000 profit if I want to sell. But why do I do it? Because why? My strategy is what? Low capital outlay. My risk must be lower. How to use the same amount of capital to make the same amount of profit. Hey, how many of you like that? If you like that, type inside the chat group, say yes. Use less money and still make the same amount of capital. What? Say yes, yes, yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. Yes. That's the reason why this is just one of my strategies, right? On how do I actually use strategies to decide to buy what kind of property. And that is something that you need to learn. I even can teach you how to buy resale property. That is important. That's why one of my strategies is to buy into profit. Why do I say so? Because I buy already, people already pay that kind of money. So I know how to spot property, right? Step by step for the right assets. That's why I really want to teach every one of you this, how you can do this, how to maximize your profit and potential and minimize your risk. Because I mentioned, I'm very kiasi to lose money one. So I always learn how to make money through asset planning. And that is something that you need to learn. That's why my number 1 rule is never lose money. Never forget the rule number 1. That's why I always believe him. Because why? I really believe, right, like him, he only buy when people don't dare to buy, right? But a lot of people like to buy when everybody rush to buy properties. And that's scary here. That's why, next thing, I want to teach you about financing. Now, I want to ask every one of you this case study. Let's say today, all of you have a budget to buy 1.8 million. you are age 40, your income is $13,000, your down payment is $500,000, your stamp duty is this amount. So, which is close to 500, and these two add up together is 570,000. Your capital today, you have this amount. How many of you will buy this property? Your monthly installment is going to be this. Your rental is about this. How many of you will buy this property one? If you want to buy this property, say yes. Why? If you don't buy the property, say N. How many? Can you type inside the chat group? Say N, Okay, good. No. No. Wow, why all you say no? So many of you say no. Nobody say want to buy. Why never see the potential of the property? Some say yes. You see, the answer can be yes and no, you know. So to me, right, if you ask me honest truth, I won't buy. I will not buy. Why I don't buy? Because I feel that if I have 600K with me and I have to cough up this amount, my balance is only left with 30,000, I will feel very insecure. I will not buy. Why I'm not buying is because not that I cannot cover the installment. It's because my reserve fund left with only 30,000. Will I feel comfortable? No. That's why it's important for all of you to understand one thing. No? Even though you can qualify to buy 1.8 million, that does not mean that you need to buy everything at 1.8 million. For me, I will look at how can I reduce the purchasing price to lower. I should have more what? Reserve fund. This is what I'm talking about, 1.8 million. In my trading class, right, you will actually learn how to determine whether am I comfortable to buy or not comfortable to buy. Even my Propnex agents can actually advise how you can actually buy, which is the better option here and there. But the most important crucial thing is here what, you know. If I want to buy something, this is something we call the reserve fund. Just now I mentioned to you, if I only left with 30,000, is it safe for me or not? If I don't think it's safe for me to own something and I left with so little amount of money, I feel insecure. So, which means that if I really buy this property, my 30,000 can only last for 1 year. I feel very insecure. So, I want to make sure that I can tweak along and make sure that I'm comfortable and I don't like to take this. But if you have planned ahead, why people lose money? Because people lose money because they didn't know how to crisis-proof strategy. They didn't know how to ensure themselves that they can actually safeguard themselves. And that's the reason why some people sell property at a loss. You look at this. People who lost money in real estate have or not? Yes, there are people who lose money one. There are people who lose 100,000 as well. Why do I need to lose money? Because they lose money is because they never plan ahead. That's the reason why, my friend, all of you here must learn how to plan ahead so that you will not lose your money eventually. Why people lose money is because of poor financing. That's the reason why you need to learn how to ensure that your financing is taken care of. That's why you need to learn one thing, how to determine my purchase price. As I mentioned, need to know this. How do I determine? So that you can be, even there's crisis, you got no problem at all. That's why I say it's important to learn the crisis-proven strategy. Even the market got problem, COVID got problem, you are not affected at all. That is the most important thing that you need to learn so that you know how to avoid. Right? So third thing, how to determine the right entry and exit. This is the part that you really need to know. How to determine the exit. A lot of people say, Kelvin, I want to learn how to buy property, but I never think about exit one. You know, a lot of people are like that. And that is something that you must learn. Like now, I ask you this question here. If you currently own a property, 2-bedroom, right, at $1.2 million, your rental is $4,500. Your cash flow is $1,000 every month. That means every month you get back $1,000. You own this asset. Now the property has increased in price to $1.5 million. How many of you will sell one? If you say you want to sell one, say sell. If you don't want, you say keep. Type inside the chat group, sell one. How many of you will sell? Or how many will keep? Sell. How many of you keep? Sell or keep? Sell. Nobody keep. Oh, some say keep. Good. Thank you so much, Michael. So many of you, PK, Aaron, thank you so much for your... I've been seeing that you guys have been always keying inside the chat group. Wow, that's amazing. Sure, whether got used for the profit. Exactly, right? See whether got used for profit. And that is important. Why? Because that's why I always say, sell unless you have a reason. But let me tell you, I will determine whether to sell not because of emotion. I will determine to sell is because of this. You see, this is exactly what happened to the property. The price has gone up, but it has flattened. You see, from 2013 until today, 10 years, this property, you can enjoy passive income, $1,000. But if you take $1,000 back, the last 10 years, the price is flat, you know. Did you actually make money? Actually, no. Even you can get passive income $1,000 every month. Did you really save $1,000? No. So that's the reason why just now one of you will say, how do I better make use of my money? That's why to sell a property or not to sell a property, you need to know one thing. When do I determine to sell? And later on, I will tell you exactly why is it. How can you learn the exit strategy without emotion one? You see, for me, you see how I buy and sell property until today, what I have, right? Is because I have a proven exit strategy with me. Man. I know when to exit. I know why I need to exit. I know what is the best time to exit. That's how I do it. If not, my money is inside this house. It's called what? Dead money. Because cannot work one. Unless I take out all my profit, I use the money to help me to grow. And that is exactly, you need to know one thing. That's why in my PWS success framework, right, there's only a decision based on one of my checklists is what, you know. Has it exceeded the peak price? If I know that it has exceeded, I will sell. Why? I want to use the money to roll again. In fact, in my training workshop, right, I actually have a strategy that will tell you when to exit based on the checklist one. Because when you tick all the checklists, you will know whether you should sell or not sell. Because why? If not, there will always be emotion. Like, for example, I get my passive income. You know, I have a high floor unit. You know, my view is so good. You know, so many things that is so positive. Why should I sell? I wait for the price to go higher. You know, last time my price is so cheap. How can I buy back? You see, once you go into emotion trap, right, you are actually not using your income to work hard for you. You're not using your money to work hard. And that is what exactly I see many people fall into this trap. You look at this example, even worse. This HDB owner who actually attended my workshop 2 years ago. I think 3 years ago, 3 years ago, he attended my workshop. He holds the property. And husband and wife bought this HDB property. I cannot tell you where. He holds this property for 20 years and fully paid up. And you see his CPF refund is 385 plus 387. These two add up together easily will have 760,000 in order to break even. But the property valuation at that point of time only 612. That means 612 to 760 is the break even. He actually lost the CPF in between already. Whatever he has contributed, whatever he has been holding for the last 20 years, people think that, oh, I pay fully all my assets, I can make a lot more money. Unfortunately, you look at these HDB owners, after staying for 20 years, don't make money, still lose money, all the hard-earned money is gone. In fact, he sold the property at 650,000. And did he lose money? He lose. And that is very scary leh. And that is really sad leh. But what to do? Because he doesn't understand. That's the reason why I say, every one of you, our parents always tell me, Kelvin, work hard, save money, just hold the HDB for the next 20, 30 years. But I tell you, a lot of people suffer there. And that's not the right way. So that's why I say, all of you here are the learner here, right? You really must know what is the best thing. And I'm very thankful for you for staying with me until now. Well, now it's 9:19, you're still with me, right? Because you want to learn. And that is something that you should avoid. That's why I want to tell you, how to determine the exit strategy, and that is important. It's so easy to buy, but you must learn how to exit. That is number one. Number one criteria is to learn how to exit. Buy and never exit is the serious mistake. I want to tell all of you. Are we losing cost of interest? You are losing not because of interest. You're losing because of your CPF accrued interest. This is the most scary part. And this is compounded. And that is scary. And that's the reason why I need you to learn and understand how to do the right thing, my friend. Right? That's why the importance of determining the exit strategy. So, how you enter, you also must know when to exit. If not, forever you are just holding on to a property that may not have grown your asset. And that is important. That's the reason why can I really afford? Let's say, for example, this case study. Bought at 1 billion and today is worth 1.4 million. So the question here is, today you actually you can easily buy a $1.8 million property. Let's say your age, every one of you, your age is 40. Today, you can actually qualify to buy 1.8 because your income can actually allows you to buy a 1.8. But you say, Kelvin, if I go and buy 1.8 million, I'll be very stressful. Because why? Because my installment is going to be higher. 5 years ago, I bought at $1 million. And if I comfortably hold the property for the next until 65 years old, I'll be very comfortable and I don't need to be stressed. But the question is, why do I want to stress myself to buy 1.8 million? Is he wrong? No. In fact, it's nothing wrong. And many people fall into this trap called comfort trap. Comfort. And eventually what happened? They hold on to the asset. Is it good enough? I do not know. Let me share with you further. The reason why you want to upgrade your asset is because, right, first, you see, you actually make 400,000. That is your profit. Just now your capital, if you buy at 1 million, is 200K. At least this amount of money, right? You actually sell the property away. You take out the money. You actually transfer this money to 1.8 million. Did you actually lose the money? No, the money actually is transferred. Just like just now that guy, just now I show you one example, the South Bank. From the price has went up and eventually flat for the last 10 years. Can you imagine? That means the property did not actually appreciate. But if you look at it, why do you need to sell? First, you own the asset at $1 million. Yes, it has increased to $1.4 million. But if your age is 40 years old now, if the property did not appreciate at the age of 65, you will actually have $1.4 million. But if just now, if you sell this property and you own a $1.8 million, you and me know one thing. We take a loan until the age of 65. Eventually, whether you sell or don't sell, whether got profit or not profit, right? Your asset net worth is going to be fully paid and the net worth will cost 1.8 million and 1.4 million. I want to ask every one of you here. If by right you can own a 1.8 million, but you choose to be comfortable, you own a 1.4 million. But eventually both are fully paid up. Eventually. How many of you wants to own the 1.8 and how many of you want to own the 1.4? Can you type in the chat group? Which one do you prefer? 1.8 or 1.4? Thank you so much, Daniel. 1.8, right? Why do you want to own 1.8? Because very simple. You need to learn how to build your net worth. Just now I asked every one of you here, your HDB is how much? Just now the Sengkang HDB is 760,000. At least if you own a fully paid out apartment, 1.8 million, you minus this away, you downgrade to a 5-room Punggol 760,000. At least your income, your retirement still got $1 million. But a lot of people didn't do it, right? What will happen next? If they have 1.4, they minus, they only have 700,000. Is it good enough? To be honest, even when you tell me 40 years old, 25 years down the road, to have $1.8 million, is it enough? I also tell you it's not enough because of inflation. That's the reason why you need to understand why people choose to upgrade. Just like me, Why I started from HDB? In fact, my first private property when I invest is only 550,000. At that point of time, when I buy that time, I'm really very stressed because why? Why make money here and there? But because I make my first step and I do the right thing, right? Today, I can own multiple property. Because of what reason? Because I buy and sell. And today, I can own more assets because I have built my capital. And that is something that in my workshop, right? I want to really teach people how to you build capital. Because why? I want you to see yourself when you age 65, right? How much do you think you have enough to retire? You must start to think. If any one of you today own assets, any one of you here, at your age now, if you choose not to do anything, your current asset, you will stay until age 65. If the property never appreciate at all, whatever the price that you have today, is it enough for you to retire? Ask yourself this question. You will know the reason why you should sell or not to sell already. Think. Because why? I'm not here to ask you to sell. I'm here to tell you what happened next if you don't do so. So it depends on you. Of course, I don't want you to speculate. That's why in the workshop, right, you need to learn how to do financial planning. How to ensure that you have enough. How to make sure that even I upgrade, I don't have stress. And that is important. And remember, this is the most critical part. That's why I say important is to learn how to protect what? Your profit. And why people sell is because why? Protect your profit, protect your capital. Right? If retire already, how? Oh, actually, in fact, I just finished my expo, Eddie. You know, right? The one of these uncle was telling me, Kelvin, you know why I have a 5 over million? He asked me, Kelvin, should I sell? I say, why do you want to sell? I say, because maybe he asked me whether the property will still continue to appreciate. I say, of course, eventually you don't sell, will still appreciate. But I asked him, why do you need to sell? That's why he said, I want to maybe give it to my children. I said, you don't sell, also can give it to your children. But he want to buy a small unit with a studio. You want to buy a studio to stay there. Yeah. I said, wow, uncle, you have a 6 million house, you don't stay, you want to stay in a studio. I said, you by the time you age, you should really enjoy yourself, not to be torturing yourself. I said, you sell provided you can buy a better 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom to stay, and then keep the balance for your own retirement better. Because you stay in a landed house, got to manage the whole house. Wow, it's very stressful. So I actually shared with him the reason why need to change. Of course, he knows one thing. Eventually, whatever house that you have, whatever 10 million, 20 million you have, whether you got chance to use it or not, I do not know. Right? So that is the reason why if you are retired, I think it's also important for you to come and learn from me. Understand how as a retiree, what can you do with your asset? Sometimes you didn't know your asset is like, just now I mentioned to you, gone up flat already. Actually, I spoken to one guy, his property that he's owned is flat. He doesn't know. Right? After he listened to me, then he know what is the next step to do. And that is crucial. Right? Protect your profit, protect your capital. Number one, right? That's why I have this very, very proven strategy. And that is something that you must learn. How can you actually start to accumulate your wealth? How do you advance it? When is the next stage of advance? How do you build your you? That's why my storybook, the book that you saw, right? I actually wrote this book, but I didn't sell it anymore. How do I build my capital? A lot of people say, Kelvin, I want to talk about you. I say you are for old folks. When you have enough property like me, right, then you talk about you. But if you don't have, please don't talk about you, because you is waste time. You need to build capital. So the question is, when you want to build capital, then you need to learn what? How to exit. How to enter. Because if you know how to enter, you must learn how to exit. And you must know when to exit and why must exit. So that you can accumulate what? Your capital. So that you can slowly move up to the stage of, like me, I can own some assets. I can sell, I can keep for rental, no problem. Right? I can keep for you as well. But in order for me to reach this stage now, I need to build there. So I want all of you to learn. How do you build capital? Like some of you say, Kelvin, I'm still MOP. Good. Come and learn as well. Because why? So that you learn how to start thinking. Don't wait until last minute. Then you do things. Right? Learn first. Just like this lady. You see, he bought a Ferrari 1.5 million, he sold it and bought a 2.5 million, then he moved forward. You see, slowly these people also has built capital, right? And if you look at this uncle, He said, buy property, rental increase, staff cost increase, price of book keep coming down. How are you going to make money like that? I foresee this problem. The best thing to do is you make a little bit of money going to what? Property. This is an article that's many years back, and I really find it so meaningful because whatever the article is saying, it really related to what I'm going to share with every one of you here, because I truly believe what is important to learn how to build your future. A lot of people say, Kelvin, if some of you are parents here somehow, you really need to learn how to have enough so that next time you can take care of your children if you want to. Of course, you can choose not to, but at least you have option to do so. That is important. But in order to do so, you must start to learn how to build, and that is critical. That's why my framework covers 3 important things. What are the right techniques? Just like I show you, right? When to exit. How to use system to help you to work out numbers. And important, network. The community that you and me are now in, right? Is a community. How can you talk and ask questions so that you can even ask me when to sell, when to buy? Happy to support here so that you can learn from all of us here. And that is really, really crucial for all of you to understand this. And that is something that I really want all of you to learn. Why? Because so that you can have a better and better future when it comes to your own retirement. And I really want now Eddie to really come into the second part of this particular PWS workshop, right? To share with you in detail, right? How can you also start to build capital in the right way? Eddie, I've spoken so much, now it's your turn already.
Thank you, Kelvin, for sharing so much value with every one of us.
Yep, Eddie, I think everybody is looking forward to hear from you, right?
Sure, connecting, thank you so much. Can you pull up my slides? Thank you, everyone. So everyone, I hope you are enjoying the seminar here so far. If you have learned something from Kelvin here today, can you just type 1 into the chat box itself so that we know that we are giving you value here today? Are you benefiting from the webinar so far? So that reaffirm what we are sharing so that we know what good content to put out in the market. So very, very important. Number 1, the 3 things that Kelvin have shared so far. The right timing, the right financing, the right buying and exit strategy. Very, very important. Always have a framework. Don't make emotional decisions. So this is what we're going to go in from here. But I understand, if you're joining us for the first time or you're joining the property educational webinar for the first time, can you just let me know by typing 1? The first time you're coming into a property webinar or joining us for the first time seeing Kelvin and myself, you can type 1. It's a little bit overwhelming because really we covered so much. In fact, there's so much more to cover. And if you do feel overwhelmed, I just want to let you know, it's perfectly normal. Because Kelvin was trying to cram so much value here today in one day. I hope from the session, at least you can see that the possibility of retiring early if you do it right. And every one of us, right, regardless of whatever asset we own or intend to kickstart with, we have a chance. From here, we build the first step to build our retirement, to make it correct from the foundation stage. If it's okay with you, I'd love to share with you something very, very important. To allow us and Kelvin to handhold you, using his proven 3 stages of property wealth to guide you as a mentor, to build your own personal portfolio. Every one of us is different. Every one of us have different backgrounds, different start stage, and different targeted desired angles. So if you allow us to share with you, can you just type yes? This way, with the guidance, right, you can save a lot of unnecessary trial and error, unnecessary mistakes, and just follow a guided rule of thumb. So I'm going to kickstart right now. So what Kelvin has shared earlier on, quick property wealth recap. Secret number 1, right timing. It's not about timing the market, but how do you know that it's correct to enter? Next thing, the right financing, which is the second secret that Kelvin shared. If both properties earn the same amount of money, is there a way for you to inject the least amount of capital to gain the same? Or inject the same amount of capital for you to earn even more? How do you do that? The right financing. A lot of you pointed out earlier on, interest rate is one of them. How do you even select an interest rate package? It's just the basics. But financing, creative funding strategies on how you can use from one capital to rebound and then to quadruple, you jump into multiple properties, the right buying and exit strategy, so that you can take control. How many of you would really like to learn how to systematically get higher returns for your current property, savings and CPF in a safe and predictable manner? Type yes. Type yes if you like to learn how you, in a systematical manner, get higher returns for your current property and your savings and CPF in a safe and predictable. Most importantly, no speculation. Type yes. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, Derek. Thank you so much to Florence, and thank you so much. So next. That's the reason why we are sharing here today. And today, why we're the largest real estate agency is because a lot of our customers have found success. There are so many success stories of our customers, and our success is only a byproduct when our fellow friends, customers, and community succeed. From the advice from our consultants with the guidance of Kelvin itself, because they followed one thing, our system. And many of them saw their own results in just a few years. And the reason they do that is because Property Wealth System Masterclass. Actually, this is the untold secret, what we've been training consultants, professionals to do. That this checklist, this guided foundation, Property Wealth System, designed and conducted by CA licensed and MAS licensed speakers. We are all licensed, we cannot misrepresent. Everything we say has to be factually correct. Who are real professionals, we are investors ourselves with real experience. And many of the things that we share is from our own trial and error experience and from our own mistakes. And many of those people that succeeded follow our Property Wealth System mentoring program. More than thousands of Singaporeans have benefited. In other words, Ismail, Kelvin, Yong Hock, and myself became part of their mentor. So let me walk you through this mentoring program. Over 25 years of experience into 2 days of solid step-by-step coaching is what we're putting out. In order to build your own system, you need to learn systematically. Number one, proven formula for success. Learn from top investors and licensed practitioners. Start your own property portfolio. That's very, very important. Your own. Every one of us is different. Learn time-tested strategies for passive income and capital growth. Passive income and capital growth is very, very important. Earlier on, I saw one question. What's the difference between annualized gain from property and interest rate? You can put your money in the bank. The only thing is this. You didn't have the discipline to roll the ball downhill enough. But in real estate, it is a forced saving. You will keep your money there for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to enjoy the full growth, the full trend. But how many times we put our money in fixed deposit and within 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, even a year, we cash out? So that's one secret. Because it's fixed. Unlock the success mindset. Develop the mindset of a successful investor. Which Kelvin has shared 2 secrets. Number 1, don't lose money. Never, never, never lose money. Then, with this mindset, you'll spin off into that framework on how do you determine your entry price and how do you determine exit property, exit point itself. And this is how we define buying into profits. Don't lose money. Point number 1, secret mindset. Number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Crisis resilient investment strategies. Discover how to structure deals to grow property portfolio fast while minimizing risk. Very, very important. Crisis resilient. Most importantly, everyone of us today, right? We walk out. We need to learn how to be self-sufficient. Self-sufficient. We need to have control. Very, very important. Control. Learn how to raise finance. Learn little known methods to raising finance safely. Very, very important. This is what determines a good investor and a great investor. It's not about what you buy. It's about how you buy. Secure your future income. Understand how you can create wealth and secure your family's future. This is what we all want to achieve. And this is what we are sharing so far. A proven wealth creation system that benefited thousands of ordinary people. We are the beneficiary ourselves by following this framework. And we walk the talk. Over 25 years of experience, more than that. Into 4 sessions of step-by-step coaching. Trainers are all licensed and accredited by MAS and CA. What are the chances in life that you can learn up close and personal with a listed company CEO? What are the chances you can learn up close and personal if you're a listed company CEO and executive director? Very, very important. Some of the differences is decision making. How do they make their decision? So how much is one crisis-proof savings plan worth to you? $1,000. One crisis-proof savings plan. That means whatever pandemic they come, whatever economic crisis that come, you will be self-sufficient. That in those times, you will not panic because you have abundance. You have created something that's passive on the side. They will take care of you no matter what happens. How much is one crisis-proof savings plan worth to you? Help me to key in the group chat. How much is one crisis-proof savings plan worth to you? That means if there is a way for you to create your own personal portfolio savings plan that will tide you through whatever crisis, be it another COVID, be it another pandemic, layman, Swiss bank, Silicon Valley, anything. You can key into the group chat. Is it 1,000? How much is one crisis-proof savings plan worth to you? 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, priceless. Thank you so much. 500. Do you know that today, even when you buy a HDB, the deposit alone is already $1,000 for the option fee. For the option fee. And people are paying that without even analyzing the property. People are paying minimally even $1,000 for an option fee. Not knowing their finance, not analyzing the property. Much more. When you go into a private property, it's 1% of the purchase price. Could be in the tens of thousands of dollars. That people put down this deposit without knowing what the property will pan out with. So this is very, very important. That this is something, that's why we have to learn. Very, very important. Now we think back. If you learn something before you even put down the 1,000 for HDB or minimum 10,000 for a $1 million private condominium, that you know that buying this property, number one, first, I want to share this. Do away with the mindset of, will I earn money first? This number one thing is that I want you to understand, before you put down any money at all, key thing, I will not lose money. I will not even lose my $1,000, much less the $10,000. So this is very, very important. We need to learn. One successful real estate savings plan, 800 a month, 5,000, 10,000. How much will you pay to get one perfect crisis resilient real estate savings plan? That this portfolio, regardless of whatever pandemic, will tide you through. Thank you for all the shout out, the answer. So key thing, who does the property wealth system, what does the property wealth system work for? Who does it work for? You learn to consistently grow your cash flow, get higher returns than the bank and CPF in the long run, so they can take control. Very important, control. Control is only when you can determine. You are the CEO. How many of you would like to learn how to systematically get higher returns for your current property, savings and CPF in a safe and predictable manner? If you wish to learn, can you type yes into the chat box? How to be safe and how to have control. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Y. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Lee Hong. Thank you so much. First-time property buyers, you must know. Because your entry will determine your exit. And very important, your first starting block will determine where you end. HDB owner, you even need to learn even more. Because we show the case study of earlier on, because a lot of people buy into this. It's not to say HDB cannot buy. I really need to reiterate it. If you have done your research and study and determine that there is a demand for it, for example, did owners of Pinnacle at Duxton earn? In the last month, it transacted for $1.4 million. So when these people went for the BTO or bought resale at $900,000 earlier on, did they make a calculated investment? Did they make a calculated decision that when they bought it at 900, today is 1.4? You need to learn. Because HDB, a lot of people, we buy in with a herd mentality. We did not think. Because we think that it will be protected. But now, we get clearer and clearer and see. The government has mentioned 99 years is back to zero. It's very, very clear to us all of us right now. Upgraders. Why? Because you have earned. How do you protect your earnings? How do you protect your first pot of gold? For upgraders who have bought in earlier, today, congratulations, you have earned a substantial amount. So how do you protect it? Parents and professionals. Very, very important. Because why? I think parents, we work hard to cater the best for our children, right? Actually, whatever we have, like what Kelvin mentioned, we will never be able to fully consume it. Most of it will be left behind. So what are you going to leave behind for your loved ones? Main thing, next, professionals, because a lot of us, we exchange time for money. We exchange time for money. And then in the blink of an eye, time passed. And then we realized we did not build passive income. So when the time comes to retirement, that's when we started to think, did we plan ahead enough? Civil servants, you can also kickstart as well because you have one good advantage, stable income. Meaning to say what? Your loan is secured and then also your monthly installment is secured. You do not need to worry about it. So key thing, maybe I can ask a question to everyone. If you buy something, could be a car, could be an insurance, could be anything, or even a property. If you never have to worry about installment, about paying, never ever have to worry about paying, will you sell at a loss? Yes or no? Will you sell at a loss? If you never ever have to worry about paying, will you sell at a loss? Yes or no? Thank you so much. No, Aaron, Michael, Michelle, Derek, Jesselyn, no. This is what we meant by control. One of the control. Just one of the control itself. Business owner and self-employed, very important. And soon to be retirees, exactly, because it could be your last lap. And for people who are retired, actually you already have accumulated something. So main thing is how do you get the best out of it. Seasoned investor looking to expand your portfolio because every market there's always opportunity. Most importantly is that in the up market or down market, we need to go through a systematic approach on how to determine and just getting started. So, trusted by more than 12,000 real estate professionals, the property wealth system, you can see why it's a great deal at even $5,000, but no. To the general public, actually we used to conduct this course over 2 days, full time at 1997, but because all of you stay all the way to the end, we just want to extend this to you. Really, that we can all learn together and build a community. The community is where real-time information, fellow learners come together to learn, clarify questions, Q&A, be mentored by all the mentors itself. So this is something. I'm going to make you an irresistible offer itself to learn how to crisis-proof your family in the new normal today. Very, very important. Less than $1 a day. In a 2-day masterclass with Ismail, Kelvin, Yonghok and myself, 2 days, 97, for one property wealth system, one crisis-proof real estate savings plan. Learn how to crisis-proof your family today in the new normal. Very, very important. So for the first 50 people today, what will you get? You get Ismail's personal success checklist. Next, Kelvin's personal success checklist. Priority support. The promised consultant have your back. The total value is priceless. Main thing that these two people have walked the talk. I'm also inspired by them and guided by them on how to kickstart my journey. And I can tell you, it cut short my learning journey by a lot. Cut short. 2 days to cut short 20 years. 2 days. Full focus, one time, most importantly in the 2 days. PWS. You learn how to build your own property portfolio, how to get your first step. You will know how to plan for yourself, how to derive your own portfolio planning. If you've been struggling, this is probably why. I mean, it's not easy, I understand. These 5 factors, success versus struggle, we all know, we all want it. We all want it. We all want it. But there's always 2 parts of it. Rudy, thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you. The next class, details is in the chat box itself. Because of our belief, it's not the right time. I don't have enough, this only for the rich. It's common. Actually, I met Kelvin way earlier before I started real estate. But the key thing, this is what first caught me. When, during the AFC itself, I think there's a lot of good deals out in the market. Okay, today, maybe I ask a question. What is the minimum down payment you have to pay in order to buy a private property? Can I ask all of you? Is it 20% or 25%? Can you key into the chat box? 20% or 25%? Minimum down payment in order to buy a property, private property in Singapore, using a bank loan. 20% down payment or 25% down payment? 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. Earlier on, it was 20%. So maybe I pose you a hypothetical question. What if I tell you 10% down payment and you can buy a real estate property today? How many of you will buy? Can you type yes into the chat box? 10% down payment only. 10% down payment, 10% down payment, 10% down payment. What if I tell you 10% down payment and it's only fully by CPF? Will you buy a property today? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Anna. I'm reading correctly. So this is what happened. Earlier on, real estate down payment was only 10%. And then you can pay fully by CPF. And at that point of time when I was faced with this good deal, right, I didn't have the know-how. I was so afraid of going in. It's the sale. The sale at Marina. The developer offered, it was a long time ago at launch, that 10% down payment by CPF. After I exercise, they give me back cash rebate. Those days is still okay. That means to say, I sign a name, I pay CPF. After I exercise, they give me back 10%. Sign name, take property leh. Sign name, take property leh. How many of you will really believe there's such a good deal? I also didn't believe until I walked into the show flat. But what happened? It's because of the know-how. I went back and told all my friends, and then everybody told me, now it's not a good time. AFC. Now this is only for the rich. What if you cannot pay? Then I didn't realize. I didn't go back and count. I didn't go back and calculate, which is one of the most important activity in the PWS. Calculate and plan. Very important. And it's done by you yourself. We will guide you and you will plan and calculate for yourself. This is what I didn't do. That's why I missed out on a good deal. I didn't calculate that I have more than enough CPF to last me through 2 years of installment. And then I've forgotten that when I pay 10% by CPF, the developer actually returned me 10% in cash. That 10% could be my reserve fund to feed my installment for the next 2 years plus. And the best part, if I tell you, you can buy $1,000 per square feet in Marina, how many of you will buy? How many of you will buy? And today, staggeringly enough, I miss out. Because I thought it's not the right time. Next thing, I also thought I couldn't do it. Because I didn't think that I could borrow. But I was in a stable job, in civil service. But I thought that I couldn't. Because I never ever calculated for myself. Because I come from a poor family. 11 of us stay in a 3-room flat. So I never ever thought that I can stay in a private property. So, this is something that's inbuilt in us until we explore, until I sat down with the banker and the banker confirmed you can loan. Then I realized, actually I could. But all along I thought I couldn't. So key thing in the PWS, you will learn. Very important, learn. Learn for yourself. You are your own teacher. But we will guide you throughout the whole 2-day masterclass from morning, 9:30 until 5 p.m. These 2 days, we are here serious to help you create your own property portfolio. Very, very important. And fearful mindset. I was thinking, what if I lost my job? What will happen? All these thoughts, actually it's constant. All these thoughts, can I say that it's constant? It will never go away. We will always have this feeling, what if? What if? And what if? So at that end up, didn't do anything. So this is what happened. $1,000 per square feet today, 2008. 2008. Drop a bit, 2005, go back 2006, then go back 2008 again. Totally miss out. 3 times. So end of the day, right? The result is disappointing. So anyhow buy lah. Without thinking. Because I think that it's not for me. I'll just go for whatever I think I can. Then no breakthrough. So very, very important. So what you will learn, very, very important. This is what we'll teach you. Doesn't matter if you are a beginner. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or seasoned. Because all the different segments will build you up. From the first day, first session itself will build up until the second day, last segment. Bringing you through the 3 stages. Every one of you. From over 25 years of experience into 4 sessions of solid step-by-step coaching. Really step-by-step. Later, you will see the workbook. Learn how to crisis-proof your family today. So you can click the link inside the chat box itself and find out more. Next thing. This is what in detail we're going to teach you. Your own property blueprint. Identify and select profitable properties with little cash using OPM. OPM means what? Other people's money. Very, very important key concept. Remember, we talked about right financing? Right financing. Get a step-by-step plan to achieve your investment and early retirement. Actual passive income, actual passive income, actual passive income. Start earning your first $1 of passive income today. Very, very important. Active income, all of us are so good at it. But only when you start to build a passive income. And that's what will crisis-proof us. Positive cash flow and capital gains. Very, very important. Passive income. Ways to secure and lower your monthly mortgage. We all know interest rate is high. But you still can be lower than other people. Remember we spoke about this? It's not about what you buy, it's about how you buy. Two person buy the same property, one pay lesser interest, and then know how to do the right financing. Actually, end of the day, right, later on when we do the cash proceed financing calculation in the PWS, you realize how come they buy the same property, same stack, same floor, same development. One person can earn more than the other. And that's very critical. It's about how you buy, not about what you buy. Advanced strategy, this you have to build up step by step. When and how to restructure your property portfolio for maximum gain. But we all start from the first one, definitely. I have to tell you upfront. We all start from step number one. Step number one. Then from there, we catapult. You will see people, how do they exponentially grow? It's only after the first property. Definitely the first property, if you do it right, you will build your capital, and then the next step will be exponential. Very, very important. But then this is also key. That's what I mentioned earlier on. For upgraders or people currently property owners, right, you already have a pot of gold. After your first step, your second step is even more important than the first step. Why? Don't lose your money. That's key thing. So 25 years of experience, step by step, you'll consistently learn how to grow your cash flow and get higher returns than the bank or CPF in the long run. You're going to beat the odds so they can take control. How much money can you make with just one right property move? Maybe can I ask every one of you, if you do it right in your own personal perspective, that means your own understanding and your own situation, if you make your first move right, how much do you think you can earn yourself? Every one of us is different. It doesn't matter. Just to do a public poll right here, you can reply me in the chat box itself. Just want to get a public gauge of you. If one right property move, one right move, how much do you think you can earn? 200, 300, $500,000 some of you, 200, 250, 300. So very, very, very important that we see here. Every one of us may be of different starting point, but here actually I've given you the first tip. What is our target? So when we know our target, we will know what to do in order to hit the target. Definitely, when we come into the masterclass, when we see your planning itself, we will be able to tell you, is it possible or is it not possible? So key thing, if everybody tell us that they want to buy one property and earn 500,000, I don't think so. I don't think so. But then if you ask me whether when you buy in this property, will you be safe? Your money is safe. Your money will be there in 5 years' time. What is your ROE, your ROI, and then how to build your capital? That one we can assure you. Because there's something called a real estate savings plan. Savings plan. Savings plan. To earn in sometimes is a bonus. But most importantly, my capital must be protected. Then with projected, secure, step-by-step structured growth. So revealing the exact methods that we can use in today's market to create your own multi-million-dollar property portfolio in a safe environment. Yes, we will get there. Time. Multiple ways to unlock your cash through your property. If I can share a method with you that you don't have to sell, you don't have to sell a property and you can cash out and buy another property, how many of you will be keen to learn? That means you don't need to sell a property, you are able to unlock the money from your property and buy another property. How many of you will be keen to learn? Type yes. Strategies on how to spot below market price property itself and be the first to profit. Exit point. How do you determine your exit? Be the first to profit. Very, very important. Steps to determine the exit strategy to unlock maximum profit. So what we learn? Our total investment to learn all of this, Kelvin spent over 20 years. Ismail spent over 25 years. And then Yonghok spent over 25 years. I spent over 13 years. It took us 10 to 25 years individually to try and error to be able to now build our wealth with property. In fact, more of us, previously were full-time civil servant. Ismail was in the army as a lieutenant colonel. Kelvin was in the Air Force and I was in the Navy. But over the last 10, 25 years, we experimented and took control and came up with a system and roadmap to cut what does not work. Cut away. Not work. So that we can be sure of success. Can you imagine four of us trying to share with you all our journey so that you can ensure your success? How many of you are afraid of losing money? I mean, not shy to say, I'm afraid of losing money. How many of you are afraid to lose money? Type 1. Thank you so much. And then if you want someone to certified to ensure your success, that's very important. That's why, can you imagine if you are guided? So key thing, you don't have to decide today, to be very, very honest. Actually, this is the first test. It's on you. Just now remember that 5 things, struggle versus success, is on you. You don't have to decide today. Life goes on, or you give it a try. A HDB option is already $1,000. Now at 97. To ensure that you're buying into something that you will not lose your money. Not only the deposit, but your full HDB price, 500,000 and above, or your 1.5, 1.8, 1.9 million dollar condo and above. $97 to ensure that you yourself have learned, you invest into yourself to make sure that you protect your own capital. Give it a try. If you don't find any value, there's literally no risk to you. Why? Because this $97, right, you will spend it anyhow anyways. Could be a few sessions of coffee, could be 1 session of Hai Di Lao. So, like what this man always say, definitely everyone knows him. There's lots of views about it. But I think there's some truth in some things he say. The poor and middle class work hard for money. The rich will have money work for them. All of us, maybe we all start from the same thing. A lot of us, we start from very humble beginning. We work hard for money. Nothing wrong with it. But then now that we have the capital, whatever we have, right, we should build. Let money work for you. We have worked hard for money, we can also let money work hard for us. Two-prong. One person have 1 avenue of income. Another person got 2 avenues of income, active and passive. Answer is obvious, isn't it? Give it a try. If you don't find any value, basically there's no risk. Well, I discovered the hard way itself. You experienced this before? Scared of losing job, stress. Cannot. Everything also cannot. Whatever opportunity, business opportunity, or any one of you missed a good deal before. Any one of you missed a good deal before. Can you type 2 into the chat box? And then today you see that property grow. Type 2 into the chat box. Don't know what to do. Uncertain of market. Let me share with you a secret. It is never certain. The market is never certain. That's why it's key. How do you determine the right entry price, the right strategy, the right financing, the right timing, so that you will not lose money? That's how important it is. So that you don't need to worry about the market. And this is what Kelvin talked about. Self-sufficient. Just like the example earlier on. Kelvin sharing. In times of COVID or even Asian financial crisis, whichever is .com, did we have friends around us or we know of people that make some right decision and they profited during those period of time? What can't you be the one? Why not you? Learn from internet. Listen to friends, try and error. Then you gamble. This one can buy, that one can buy. But where is your checklist? Where's your system? Or you sell and buy based on emotion. Because after looking around, you become so tired. Okay, let's do this. Why? So that I don't need to answer anymore. I don't need to go viewing anymore. Because why? Research is hard. But then now the thing is this. Why is it hard? Because you're not guided. You don't have a system. What if you have Kelvin's checklist? Like what he shared just now. One of the checklists he shared. Next. And lose hard-earned money. That means you invested in something before you lost money. Could be Kelvin. Like he lost money in his HDB, the 10,000. If he was afraid, today will he have the $10 million landed with all the other 10 properties that he have? But I'm not saying to be foolishly bold. Most importantly, why is he brave? Not brave. Why is he confident? Because he have a checklist. Important checklist. System. System is what will ensure that we will not do the wrong thing, which means to say system is always right. System will be right. And then you yourself could try to spend months researching and then give up. And you repeat step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and then give up. Totally, either you exit the market or you anyhow buy. You anyhow buy, you will anyhow sell. Because you got no feeling for it anyways. Or you disappointed from missed opportunities. That means, like me, I missed the sale, it's $1,000. But the best thing about it is that actually those days, right, sign name, get house. Give CPF, take back cash. Actually, it's a better deal, isn't it? Give CPF, take cash. I got CPF, but no cash. So that was a good deal. But I didn't get it. But if I keep thinking, 想当年, long time ago, I missed out, I lost, I missed the opportunity. That's it. I don't need to enter. So luckily, I still took action, or rely on current job or a current property for retirement, which is actually a miscalculated actual cash return. Actually, it's not miscalculated. I like to correct this. It's never calculated at all. Never. Then we realize not enough at the end of it. That's what's scary. Actually, why we are doing all this, like what Kelvin shared, right, is that we really want to drive this financial literacy thing to share with more people on what we have done. End of the day, right, we are self-sufficient. We are happy with what we have. Definitely, some have more, some have okay. But the main thing is this. We hope to share this value, this thing that we learn with more people, because we really believe that if Singapore is growing, and then most of us either work, live, or stay, or grow up in Singapore, are you riding the growth of this country and benefiting from it? So this is the key thing. You contributed to the country's growth. So the main thing, are you growing together with the growth of the company, of the country itself? And then the last thing, rely on children for retirement. I myself don't have this option because I don't have any children. And the key thing is this. I mean, some of you may have children and some of you may have parents to take care of. And it's stressful. It's very, very stressful. Rely on children for retirement because in future, their cost of living is going to be higher than ours. Are they self-sufficient? We may never know. So what is the PWS framework is about? When opportunities arrive, are you still in time to learn? That means when opportunities come, you start to do your research, you start to find out from gurus, you start to find out about checklists, and then the next thing, you miss the opportunity. Are you in time to make a profit? What's the real cost of missed opportunity? Key thing is lost time. Regret is one more thing. But I feel lost time. You see, example, 30 to 65 years old, I just take an example. If let's say that every 5 to 8 years is one cycle, how many cycles do you have? How many cycles do we have? And some could even hold the property for 10 years. 30 to 65, averagely, I think, 3 to 4 cycles. If you miss one good opportunity, the next cycle, is it going to be better than the last cycle? Very, very important. So the 2 days of PWS Masterclass, later on you will see what is included. You will even access the recording from it. And not just this session, but throughout all our past sessions as well. Because our key intention of this, by giving you a dedicated learning platform, main thing you come for the 2 days PWS, you learn live, you ask questions, you raise hand, ask the guru, Kelvin, Ismail, Yong Hok, your question, your personal portfolio question, get your answer, go back. The main thing, you still can refresh, but because you're a dedicated learning portal, and watch all the recording and replay. And the best part, there's a community. So now, what if, just now what we shared earlier on, right, there's a new way of doing things, a new way, a better way. A better way, very, very important. PWS. Over 25 years of experience into 4 sessions of step-by-step coaching. License accredited. What are the chances in life you can learn up close and personal with Ismail, Kelvin? This is key thing. So now, important to say, we need to model what works. Mindset, strategies, and grow with your community. Very important to model. Success breeds success. If someone have a success formula, the quickest way for us to succeed is to learn, model, and replicate. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Cut away all the mistakes. Cut away all the wrong turns that people have already made. Model what works. show you the latest strategy and research. We already made the mistakes so that you don't have to. So you can see that we call for a revision every time to catch on people to update them on latest market trend for our insider community, the PWS insider community. Growing together for the community, you get to come in and ask questions. We even bring in specialists. Could be landed, could be commercial, even overseas, but more towards local because most of our target audience, their needs is all here. Even share, how do you see the URA master plan? How do you see the plot ratio? How do you see what will be built here? How do you analyze land bid? This is definitely after the 2 days of master class in the future upgrading. And the best part, no upsell. It's free. All the revision is free. How many of you want to start growing? How many of you want to start growing? Can you type yes in the chat box? How many of you want to start growing? Start growing. Yes, 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 Daniel. Thank you so much. So much, so much. And the best part, this training is even accredited by SSG. Meaning to say, right, NTUC, if you are an NTUC member, you can even claim 50% off the course fee. Means to say you apply for the course and after that you can claim 50% rebate back. Because why? Our course material have been assessed because we are all accredited, assessed by MAS, CEA. So all our content is solid and good to go. What did the participant at PWS learn? Kelvin's 3 stages of property ownership. Really, this is the truth. Wealth accumulation and then grow. But what Kelvin say? You is later. You is later. So step by step, I'll break down exactly what do you sign up for. Because before you sign up for anything, I want you to know what you're going to get. We want to be very, very upfront with you because we want people who come in to know what they're going to receive, be serious and grow. Our end goal is not about this training. It's about you growing your portfolio and you succeeding. 18 hours of live property wealth system mentoring over 2 days in a venue by Ismail, by Kelvin, by Yong Hok and myself. And you get a physical workbook so that you can do your training and working into it. And then this workbook will be your notes so that in future when you go out, you flip back and refer to it. Hey, what is my property portfolio? What's my affordability? What's my plan? And you get 1 year access to the Property Wealth Club support group itself. What's this value? It's valued at so much. 3888 247 997. You already know that you only need to pay 97 for it. Next, bonus for you. Live Q&A. Quarterly training with industry expert. Like I mentioned earlier on, the commercial, the landed, the industrial, the offices, or even certain parts of Singapore where you spot an opportunity, we teach you how to see the master plan, for example, and even sharing from financing gurus, banks. Behind the scenes sharing of Ismail and Kelvin. And some of these sessions are even anchored specially. Meet Ismail, Q&A. Come, tell me what is your challenges. What have you done so far? Let me give you some inputs on how you put it back on track. Access to the latest property wealth trading. Updated market research data is provided to you and access to the recording for 1 year. There's a dedicated learning portal for members. Honestly speaking, the value is priceless. More than anything out there in the market. But today, because all of you stayed all the way to the end, right? I'm going to make you an irresistible offer itself. Learn to crisis-proof your family in the new normal today, which is really true. I'm very strongly feel for this. Less than $1 a day. Less than 1 cup of coffee a day. 97. One-time payment. 50% NTUC UTAP claimable. Scan the QR code. In fact, you can click the link in the chat box itself. If not, visit go.promnext.com/PWS. Sneak peek into the last PWS. Suntec Convention Hall, 800 packs, immersive learning experience. If you can see all our participants, we are having a bit of fun. You can see the slide itself. But more or less, right, we're training how people make decisions. How do people analyze things? Because these are some of the skill set that you should know. Just now earlier on, I asked how many of you are first-timer, current homeowner or investor. Let me tell you a secret. Every one of you are investors. As long as you put $1 into it, and that $1 you're not meant to lose it, you are an investor. You need to protect your capital. Every one of us are vested, regardless of how much you put in. Next, whichever venue it is always a resounding full house. Marina Bay Sand, another session that you see over here, 800 packs, immersive learning experience. Why do people come in back over and over again? Because every time we bring you latest thing, but then still build on the foundation and then still share with you, right? Key thing. Congratulations, Elaine. Congratulations, Stanley, Rudy, Michael, Ben, Nancy for signing up. CK, Ben, Alan, Cokwai, Rickman, Agnes, Jonathan, Samad, Derek, Ziwei, Salim, Mabel for signing up. Well done. Congratulations to Haley, Kichuan, Kersing, and Jackie. Well done, well done, well done. Congratulations for signing up. So sneak peek into another one of the last PWS, another 800 pack Suntec Convention Hall. We are there to make sure that it's an immersive learning experience because you spend time with us, you invested time with us, you trusted us. We want to give you the value, the best experience, the best education, the best knowledge, whatever that we can do. So with the PWS, you will be able to learn how to consistently grow your cash flow, get higher returns than the bank and CPF in the long run, so that you can take control. Really, today, this is the keyword I just want to emphasize. As long as you got control, what you go in for, how you get out, when you get out, and then how much to protect all your capital. How many of you would like to learn, really? Ask yourself this question, to systematically get higher returns for your current property, savings, and CPF in a safe and practical manner. No longer rely 100% on your job for certainty if you are self-sufficient. Control.